Hey guys, Ash here. Motorola's recent announcements got everyone a tiny bit excited. One of these was the very exciting but curiously placed mid-range option, the Moto X Play. The phone is instantly representative of what Motorola have deemed their ongoing design language. The design is clean, simple, and personally a pleasure to look at. The grills and the inconspicuous front-facing camera are the only features adorning the front. On the side, you have the textured power button and the volume rocker. However, unlike the Nexus 6, these feel cheap and loose to the touch. We have the dual slot for the nano SIM card and SD card slot, alongside the centrally located 3.5mm jack. The back gives way to the signature Motorola dimple, which sits in a metal strip underneath the camera module. It's a nice and simple design touch. The phone feels good in the hand and you don't really notice the fact that it's slightly thicker than average. This is helped by the curved back, which is removable should you wish to try out the different backs through Moto Maker. This is by far one of the best features that Motorola have carved out, creating a sense of personalization with not only the back but also accent colors, there's engraving and more. Like every other phone, most of your interaction will come through the screen, and let me tell you, it's a great panel. In fact, it's one of the best 1080p panels I have ever seen. It's a TFT LCD panel, which some of you will like and some of you won't. Sure, you won't get the potential battery savings of an AMOLED panel, but the more neutral colors on the LCD panel gives a more balanced and pleasing presentation. A 5.5-inch display takes up most of the front side, leaving relatively little else, and it's a perfect size. You'll like it. It's nicely contrasted by the bright, bold screen. I don't really ever have the need to go above half brightness, and even when you lower it down, there's no color shift. A quick note on the sound. Internally, it surprised me. Coming from the Nexus 6, I wasn't expecting much, but the Moto X Play invariably sounded better. It was able to drive various headphones I had easier. It also produced a more pleasing soundstage, not too far off neutral, with a touch of emphasis. Externally, I'm disappointed. There are no dual front-facing speakers, only the one on the bottom, and with that, it's okay. Again, coming from the Nexus 6, I was hoping something close to the sound of that. One of the most appealing features of Motorola devices in recent years has been the near-stock Android experience. This time it's no different. Subjectively, stock Android is the best way to go. There are significant notions such as the visual presentation, having pure Android, early access to updates, but there are also more smaller notions such as the fluidity and touch response that, on the whole, make it an infinitely better and more enjoyable experience. Motorola's additions are few and far between, but when they are, they're genuinely beneficial. Some highlights are Moto Assist, which enables profiles based on locations or activities, the tried, tested, and loved active display, and if you don't know, this is when the phone offers you a glance at your notifications when it detects you've picked it up. Admittedly, this was a feature that technically made more sense due to the AMOLED panel of previous generations. Regardless, it's a great way to peek at your notifications in a quick and precise manner. These are all useful additions which aren't really intrusive in any matter, just the way it should be. Packed inside, we have a Snapdragon 615, which is a somewhat curious but ultimately safe choice. There's 2GB of RAM, which hasn't really been an issue for me at all, and the Adreno 405. Ultimately, the processor choice is indicative of the mid-range labeling of this device. It doesn't impact it in any significantly negative way. My normal daily usage consists of browsing, watching videos, replying to emails, and most of the time listening to music. With all of this, it's been running without a hitch, hasn't stuttered at all, or held up. Android has matured and so has the tech. You don't need top-of-the-line components to have a good experience. This all aids towards giving a better experience that can also last. Topping that notion off is the biggest selling point of this phone, the big 3630 mAh battery. I won't waste time, it's fantastic. Damn, it's just so refreshing being able to go the entire day and still have sufficient battery life to expel. In my usage so far, I've easily been seeing upwards of 4 hours, and more often than not, I get just over 5 hours of screen on time. It's excellent. That's all you need to know. The other big inclusion is Motorola's turbocharged functionality, which is supposed to give you 8 hours of use in just 15 minutes of charge. This is through producing up to 12 volts at 1.2 amps, which overall comes out to 15 watts. This sounds amazing, but unfortunately, I wouldn't know any better, as Motorola don't include a compatible charger in the box. The final thing you're probably all wondering about is the highly touted camera. Motorola claim this to be the best they've ever made, and they're right. They also say this is one of the best on the market, and well, maybe they're not so much. It's a 21 megapixel shooter with a dual LED flash. It's great, but not amazing. I can confidently say, in my subjective opinion, that it's better than the previous phone I reviewed, the Sony Xperia Z3 Plus. In good light, there's detail and it looks wonderful, but it can easily degrade in low light or where conditions aren't admirable. Regardless, you won't be disappointed, despite not being the best of the best. The camera software in true Motorola style is still far too simple for my liking. In my opinion, the LG G4 did it perfectly. It works, it's just finicky and all picture based. It's not the most efficient when you're quickly looking for a particular setting. There aren't many settings either, which I hope to see developed. Finally, I don't really ever comment on the actual function of phone calling because by and large the experience is all the same. However, here the call quality is far above average. The dedicated mic for noise cancelling works extremely well. Even in busy environments, it sounded like I was pretty much alone. So should you get it? Absolutely, it's a great phone at a great price. You get a great camera, a fantastic screen, exactly what you'd want from the battery. There's expandable storage up to 128 gig, and a beautiful, pure Android experience. However, it doesn't really come without some curious decisions. It's not fully waterproof. The IP52 rating only gives it splash-proof rating, which is questionable when Motorola are aiming this for on-the-go users. There's no wireless charging, and to top it off, there's no turbocharger in the box. The phone does a lot right and contains some incredible features of its flagship brethren, but you have to wonder who Motorola are ultimately aiming this for. It feels all a little unfocused and slightly lazy. So that's it from me, guys. Let me know what you think down below, and if you need to get in touch, hit me up on Twitter at TremblingWater. Be sure to check out all the rest of the great content from the team. Anyways, thanks for listening. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon.